All right, so Pisces and Pisces Rising, yeah, you guys are gonna have Mercury on the 1st of January. You're gonna have Mercury go into Capricorn, which is your 11th house. That's gonna be the first thing happening, and what I think is going on is, you already had Venus, Mars, and the Sun already in the 11th house, so there's already been a spotlight and action and a desire for things to start developing around 11th house topics, which are it could be communities, groups, social media presence. It could be your aspirations, dreams, hopes, wishes. So there's already been things evolving in this area. And I think with Mercury still lagging behind in Sagittarius, that means that there was something still going on in that area, which is your 10th house of public life, how the world sees you, career. It could even be authority figures and things like that. Something was still going on in that area. And I think maybe, your thoughts were still kind of there. Maybe even a Sagittarius type person, if that's what it is. Thoughts about these types of people for some of you. And Sagittarius type themes and topics. And then as January 1st rolls around, it's like boom. Now that it's in Capricorn, you're all kind of in on this area and of your life, and it seems like now you whatever you want to get done in this area, you could start to really focus in on this area and hone in. But I will say that on the third, you're gonna have that full moon in the fifth house of Cancer. Now, this isn't so bad as some of the other signs as far as, you know, I think like they have to balance things that might be a little bit more difficult, some of the other signs. But this one, it's in your house of, what is that? Your house of romance, your house of creativity, your house of children, your house of fun, pleasure. So you could be, it could be doing, balancing fun, pleasurable things, romance versus being in communities, being involved in communities, working on your dreams and things like that. So I don't think that's as bad of a thing to be trying to balance, um, personally. Um, but yeah, it just seems like definitely there's going to be this deep thing going on in with that fifth house. With Jupiter there as well, it could be trying to find the truth of a matter around these topics or the meaning um, around children, romance, fun, pleasure, those types of things. Because, like I said, they're in opposition to all those planets in the 11th house in Capricorn. And so much so, like, even if you fast forward to the 10th, you're going to realize that there's going to be exact opposition with Jupiter, who's exalted in Cancer in the fifth house, and Mars, who's exalted in Capricorn in the 11th house. And now these two are at odds, and or at least there's just a balancing act going on. And not only that, you got Sun at 20 degrees and Venus at 21 degrees, also in Capricorn with Mars, and Mercury is also at 13 degrees with Mars. So it seems like it was a heavier focus on whether that's social media, whether that's friendships, groups, communities, whether that's your hopes and dreams, things you're trying to aspire to. There's a heavier focus on that area, while at the same time still trying to maybe find meaning in that fifth house, the truth of a matter in that fifth house with Jupiter, expansion in that fifth house. Uh, Maybe, and this is creativity too. So if you're aspiring to some things, you could be trying to expand on your creative work, uh, with that Jupiter in the fifth house, like which I say that's nice to balance each other out. Like that's not a necessarily negative thing to me. Um, then on the 16th, even you're gonna have the moon also join those other planets in the 11th house. So putting more of a focus on that, whatever you're aspiring to, your groups, whatever, like it's really gonna be heavy in that first half of January. But then the next day, you're gonna have Venus leave out of that house into the 12th house of which is usually isolation, rest, self undoing, mental health, those types of things. Now, since Venus is leading the way, it just seems like some type of a desire, something you're interested in, is bringing you into this sector. This also could be a spiritual sector as well, depending on what it is you're aspiring to. But it seems like with Venus leading the way, like it's something you want. So maybe you want more rest, more isolation from the world. And then all the other planets are gonna follow suit. So there's something catching your eye, leading you that way. And then naturally, uh, what the Sun, Mercury, Mars, they're all gonna follow suit. But before they do, right after Venus goes into that sign, the very next day, on the 18th, there's a new moon at 28 degrees in Capricorn in that 11th house. So 28 degrees, Venus is at 1 degree. So that's like 3 degrees apart. And so it's not much, to the point where Venus might have some say still in what's going on in this new moon, even though it's in Capricorn. And what I could see this being is like new moons usually are a seeding point, like a seedless planet, new beginnings, a new start. So something in communities, groups, or whatever your dreams are is getting started. And it has also to do a bit with you either being in retreat or being in isolation, being behind the scenes, 12th house. Um, like that could be involved as well. And then on the 20th, the Sun, Mercury goes into Aquarius as well. The moon will be there too, the same day as the new moon. And on the 23rd, Mars is going to be in there. So now all these planets have just moved over into Aquarius. But keep in mind that Pluto is at 3 degrees of Aquarius. So um, all these planets have to go through Pluto as they progress, and they're going to come into conjunction. And Pluto likes to strip you of things. It likes to transform things, change things, intensify things, go in deep with things, obsess over things. So there's going to be probably some deep transformation, some deep thoughts, some deep desires, deep focus, strong focus on things of the 12th house. Maybe like just extreme isolation even, or like, and this could be favorable. This could be things you want, or it could be things you don't want. Maybe something comes up that puts you in isolation where you just need to retreat and rest, like, for whatever reason that may be. But things pass as life does. Things come and go. And like I said, this could be a good thing or an unfavorable thing. But definitely, yeah, they're gonna have to go through that purification of Pluto as they progress. But in my own personal opinion, I say this as a good thing, just because Venus led the way, and I think it's something you want and desire, and it's pleasant, is what I'm hoping. So maybe pleasant rest, pleasant. Maybe if you're like aspiring to be some type of like a content creator, because like with that Jupiter in the fifth house, you're creating different things. You're aspiring with all that Capricorn energy. Then all these planets come into the 12th house, now you finding yourself more in isolation. So I definitely could see that. And on the 26th, you'll have Neptune enter into your second house of finances, values, money, self esteem. And so all these things, and this is like right around when all these planets are going into your 12th house as well. So you're finding yourself maybe making money in a more spiritual, doing more spiritual, intuitive, uh, Neptunian type things. You're making money in this type of a way. You're finding the value and seeing the value in this type of area of your life. You'll also have Saturn coming through February, so it can build some structure here while he's here for 2.5 years. Neptune's going to be there for 14 years because they're both done with Pisces once they enter into Aries, and so Aries is also a sign of new beginnings and fresh starts. So it just seems like something new is really developing here, something new in your life. So I'm definitely curious to see how this plays out for a lot of you guys. And me as a Pisces rising, I already kind of have in mind like what this could be, for me as well. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Please leave a comment if telling me like what's going on with you guys and like how this stuff is playing out for you, because it's always a good way for me to learn how this stuff is playing out and like learn new ways of how these planets are expressing themselves. So yeah, definitely interesting, and definitely looking forward to seeing what's happening for you guys as well. So yeah, that's it. I'd like to talk to you guys next time, and take care, enjoy your holidays, and yeah, keep it easy.